Cut. Should we just go for a beer?
Yeah.
We'll go for a beer. Now, playing in a band is cool, especially when you're in your mid-40s. At least, both my daughters tell me that they think I'm cool because I'm playing in a band in my mid-40s. Playing festivals in your mid-40s when you're in a band is even cooler. So this is part one of my summer festival tour setup. How we as a band get together, rehearse, learn, practice and put together a set list. The gear that I use, because it is all about the gear. It's nothing to do with talent at all. And in part two, one of the festivals that we're playing at this summer. Just think back to those days at school where you were dreaming about leading the rock star lifestyle and all the shenanigans that go along with it. And then you get an office job and it doesn't quite work out. Now, I have absolutely no idea how we as a pub covers band, that's it, that maybe gigs once every 4 to 6 weeks, how we've got on to a festival tour of England is, I just, no clue at all. Don't ask me how we did it. I don't know is the answer, but we are, and we are making the most of it. So I thought I'd take you along, a little bit of a behind the scenes vlog of how we put it together, the kit that I'm going to be using, my HX Stomp, because I've just downsized the rig very much. I went from a full-blown Helix to the Quad Cortex. I've since sold the Quad Cortex because it was just massively overkill for what I needed, and I'm now down to 3 buttons on the HX Stomp, which is mega. So those high school teenage boy rock star dreams are maybe starting to come to life, albeit we finish playing at 5 and I aim to be home by 6, have my dinner, and then that's my night done, which is rock and roll. So it's time to get stuff organised and sorted out, and this is a pretty normal setup process for me. There's usually bits and pieces dotted about a place, so expression pedal, in-ears, a random old pedal board, a bag of bits. That's actually the same bag of bits I took to the last festival. I haven't actually taken anything out of that, so that could probably stay where it is. I'm not taking my tuner tonight and all that kind of stuff. I don't need to. Obviously the guitar and the all important HX Stomp down here, which is all set, ready to go. I've been on this today, dialing in that preset. I'm looking forward to trying that out this evening. That's another top tip, is dial in your preset before a gig and get it as good as you can before a rehearsal, and then use the rehearsal to really dial it in at gig volume using the big PA speakers and that kind of stuff, which is exactly what I'm going to do this evening. I've got a rough idea of what I probably need to do, but hopefully we should be all right. So yes, guitar Les Paul, the Fender Strat, which usually lives up there, is currently up for sale, and the other good case is because of that one there, the Chapman, the ML3 Rabia Massad Signature Standard Edition is also going to be going up for sale. So if you want to buy one of these, or you want to buy a Strat, let me know, because, well, they're for sale. So one huge advantage of streamlining your rig down to the absolute bare minimum, like only what you need, don't carry extra fluff, is I have literally got everything that I need for rehearsal in this bag. If I was, when we're playing the festival, then I will have the additional little mono tick bag there just to carry a few extra bits in. But for rehearsal, everything I need is in that one gig bag. Guitar, strap, picks, spare strings, HX Stomp, power supply, guitar cable, XLR cable, adapter. Did I say power supply? I think I said power supply. And any notes that I need, well, I just have those on my phone. So what more, like, I love it. Oggs has a lot of stuff when he comes to rehearsal, and I feel like he has to do a lot of faffing around. That's his choice. It's cool. He loves it. He's got the big Helix. I used to have one of those, and he bought one because I had one, and we both had it together. But I do feel like there's quite a lot going on there, but we shall see that in a bit. All right then, here we go. Sometimes it's like having your own roadie. Hello, mate.
Food.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, I've been thinking about guitars.
Okay.
why wouldn't you?
Well, playing a band, you're middle-aged, why would you not?
Exactly.
There's nothing else to do, is there?
I've stopped thinking about those other things.
Yeah, no, I'm too old for that. It doesn't work. So what I was thinking about earlier is, we've both got, well, I only play my Les Paul, and you have a Les Paul and you mostly play your Les Paul.
Yes.
And they're very similar sounding with similar but not the same pickups.
Yeah.
You're in the Helix world, I'm now back in the Helix world.
Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back to me. But we've both got very different styles and sounds.
Yeah.
Using almost the same kit.
Yeah.
But it just complements.
But we worked quite hard on that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Because we tried to, I mean, you absolutely nailed down a really good guitar sound, a really good ballsy guitar sound. But that was great because that left me space elsewhere to come up with something that was a little bit more. Because I think that mine is a slightly thinner, maybe a bit more nasally sound, whereas yours is kind of that ballsy tube sound.
That thick behind the drive it forwards, and yours is the slicey through.
Yeah.
Slicey through bit. So I guess another tip then is set your sound up based off of what the whole band is doing, not just what you think you're gonna want or need, because when you get to rehearsal and or gigs, as we've discovered quite a lot,
How many times?
all the time,
Yeah.
that if you haven't got that quite right, it's just gonna sound bad. But it was interesting that we've both got very similar rigs, like almost the same, and yet we've got completely different sounds.
But the other thing about it is that, so you're right, I do mostly have Les Pauls, but the pickups in my guitars, variations across the pickups. So for example, my V is a deeper, ballsier sound.
Yeah.
But with the Helix setup that I've got, it still holds that other space to when I'm playing with you, which is good because it's exactly as you just said. If I'm honest, I think I prefer your guitar sound to the sound that my Helix is set up to do.
But in a band context,
when I'm playing in a band, so I'm comfortable with that. You know, that's the compromise that's worth doing in order that we get. Because otherwise, you've just got two guitars kind of mushing in together,
and all sounds the same, and you can't really tell. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to trying out this tweaked preset based off of the festival we played. So Oggs wasn't with us at the last festival we played. He was off busy doing important things. What were you doing? Were you on holiday?
It was at work.
Oh, in case you didn't know, he was a pilot. He was at work. And now you do.
I was leaving that bit.
Yeah.
You decided to tell everybody.
This is how I think you pilots were. Now that I'm a pilot myself, I understand clearly. This. We let other people tell everybody that we're pilots.
Oh,
do it.
And then you get all coy and say,
"Oh,
you didn't have to say that. Thanks for saying that."
Yeah. You didn't have to highlight that. Well done. I've lost where I was going with that. Anyway, yes, Oggs wasn't with us for the last festival, but it's great that he's back because I was missing what he does, which was actually quite weird. We had another guy, Sam, who's really good. He's an amazing guitar player, much better than both of us put together. Much better.
Hate him.
Yeah. It. But when you're used to someone doing something and then that doesn't happen, it was a bit strange. And I just switched from the Quad Cortex back to the Helix on my HX Stomp, and the preset wasn't quite right, so I've tweaked that now, and I think I fixed that, and we're going to send it this evening and see how we go.
In readiness for the festival.
In readiness for another festival. And if you want to know a full preset breakdown or exactly how I've set it up, then let me know in the comments below and I'll run through that with you once we've played the festival, and assuming it all works, because if it doesn't, we'll just delete all of that and start again. Anyway, right, we need to get there.
Stay classy in the big time.
Stay classy. Yes, so earlier on when I said that Oggs likes to carry lots of stuff with him, we've got a guitar and we've got a very large bag.
But I carry my 3 backup guitarists.
But we do have a tambourine, which is vital for any dad rock band. It makes the bag jingle as you walk. Sound like a Morris dancer. Right, here we are then, Soundhouse Studios on the southeast coast of the United Kingdom of Englandshire.
Band Mecca.
Band Mecca. Yeah, look at that.
Yes, it's mysterious.
Yes.
Hello! Hello! We're saying it's dark. Hang on.
How many people come in and do that?
Not as rhythmically as me.
Don't worry, I'll go.
Chose the classiest band there was.
Obviously. Well, I'm going to need to do a little bit. I need to do a little bit of an introduction for you, Andy. So this is the drummer extraordinaire, Andy.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Yes, we're all very well spoken in this dad rock band.
Till we start playing.
Till we start playing, and then we start. You're not allowed to swear because I get demonetised.
Okay,
so
I won't swear.
Don't say cut.
You're going to bleep those out?
Yeah, I'll bleep that out.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. It's a family show, isn't it? This festival we're playing is actually a family show, as I kept being reminded. So we've got to behave.
Okay.
That's perfect solution. You count, you come, and then you know where you are.
Jesus,
Maybe they'll
sounded
do it
quite
again.
nice.
Excuse
Should
me.
should we try again?
Can you do it again, please?
Yeah, okay. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's do it again.
Because
It's alright.
is that you then?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Should we just go for a beer?
Yeah.
We'll go for a beer.
The deep note.
Okay, a successful rehearsal last night. We're it's a festival set, so we're only on for about, I think we're given an hour. We've got about 12, 13 songs that we'll play, which, with all the chat and bits and pieces that goes on between, is plenty. So really solid rehearsal. It's the same set as we played at the previous festival when we were in Brighton. Couple of little running order changes, and we might throw in one extra song because we were running ahead of time on that one. But other than that, really good. A couple of changes that I need to make to my HX Stomp. Levels in here were fine, but playing at gig volume, and I would encourage you to test your presets at gig volume just to make sure. The heavy rhythm preset or snapshot wasn't quite loud enough. It got a bit lost, and my preset snapshot scenes, same thing, you know what I mean. My lead snapshot wasn't quite loud enough, so I just need to make a couple of tweaks. I've got all the kit back now. Like I said, everything was in my mono bag. The beauty of travelling super light means it all fits in one bag. It's brilliant. Why would you not do it? Right, I need to get this unpacked, get my guitar clean, get my stomp out, plug that in, and we'll take a quick look. Okay, so back in here now, adjusting the preset. I've got HX Edit up on the screen. I've been using that, but I would very much strongly recommend that if you've got a unit, a digital modelling unit, that you learn how to do it on the unit itself, because if you have a situation with at rehearsal or a gig or something like that, you need to change something quickly, you need to be able to know how to do it on there, not just on there. However, if you're only playing at home, then by all means do it on there. So the two issues I had with the sound last night were, it was very bassy. I think that was to do with the the mixer that we were running through. The high pass filter wasn't in, so I had sorted that out. So very bassy sounding, and volumes were a little bit off. So the way to correct that sound is, or the best way I found to correct that sound is, rather than it being too bassy, me adding more treble and mids, was to remove some of the bass, the low frequencies, because we've got a bass player. That's where he sits. I don't need to be in there. Volume side of things, rather than, the volume side of things, because my heavy rhythm preset, I've got, I don't know if I can focus on that, the light's really bad. I've got a crunch, heavy rhythm and lead preset set on there. Because the heavy rhythm preset, snapshot and lead snapshot weren't quite loud enough, rather than me increasing the volume of those, I've decreased the volume of the crunch snapshot. So again, I don't want to be sending more signal to the front desk. I don't want to be hammering that to pieces so it clips and sounds really badly. So rather than, if one is too loud, if one is too quiet, turn the others down, and that's just the easiest way of doing it. So again, we're not sending this super hot signal. We're not just turning more and more into it, because that just messes it up completely. So that was the practice rehearsal setup really for the upcoming festival. We're playing in Guildford. It's the Foodies Festival. I'll link below to what they do and wherever they play. So we've been doing a few of those over the summer. I have genuinely, like I've said before, no idea how this has come about. We are just a pub covers band that dad rock, middle-aged, mid-40s. Somehow we've managed to get onto a pretty decent festival circuit for this summer, which is amazing. And I'm not going to lie, I would much rather play these festivals than pub gigs and clubs, because all I need to do is, and I'm going to be very selfish here, but I think that's okay, because all I need to do is turn up, plug in, play, unplug, go home, or enjoy the festivities. I don't need to worry about managing lights, sound, equipment, other people, all of that kind of other stuff, which I do in our band when we're playing pubs, gigs and clubs and stuff like that. I run the PA, I'm in charge of stage production, setting everybody's volumes and levels and managing all that kind of stuff, and it can get a bit frustrating at times. But so these are so much fun for me because I don't have to worry about any of that. There's a full pro rig setup. I mean, it's massive. You've seen in the clips, like this big stage, pro setup. It's ace. Maybe the only other thing, I'll give you a quick rig rundown of what I actually take for the festival. So we've got my guitar, my Les Paul. That runs straight into. This is a really rough video, but hey, you know, so what? So that runs straight into the Boss chromatic tuner. I mean, there is a tuner on here. You just hit these two buttons and it brings that. You hit those two buttons there and it brings that up, and you come out of that. That's fine, but I don't want to be bending down, pressing on here, so I can just hit that with my foot. It mutes the signal, bypass, all that kind of stuff. Wicked tuner, bulletproof thing, and I just run that off a little battery. I don't worry about extra power supply. So guitar goes into that. That goes into the Stomp. The Stomp runs everything. I've got amp, cab, effects in front and in the loop, all that kind of jazz, and that runs straight direct to front of house, comes straight out of the PA. I can, if they want me to, or if I choose to, I can also split the signal and run that into an amp behind me and just slave the power section of that amp, so I've got a bit of stuff on stage. But to be honest with you, it's just another chain or part of the chain to break and fall down, so don't even worry about that. So that's all of that, odds and sods. Obviously I've got my little mono case attached in there, the Leatherman, the multi-talkers, just in case. This is all a bit of a mess. My power supply for the Stomp, pretty rugged, bulletproof, that one, you know, no worries with that. I've got my XLR cable with adapter to plug into the Stomp, because the Stomp doesn't have XLR ins and outs, it's all 1/4 inch jack, so I need an adapter for that, but that's fine, that works great. And then obviously we've got instrument cable. Sometimes I run a wireless, but again, it's just something else to think about, worry about, charge up, signal breakdown. I mean, it's only a cheap one. And that's it for the festival setup. If you're interested in a full in-depth detail rundown, and how I set up the Stomp, what my preset is, and if you want that available, then let me know in the comments below. But yeah, so end of part 1 done. I should probably get practicing. I'm going to just double check that preset, and I guess we'll see you on festival day. So just finishing off, that's enough chat from me. Watch this video next, where I'll explain why I believe the HX Stomp is still the unit to choose in 2025 and beyond. These things are bulletproof, they're brilliant. Alright, as ever, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part 2.